Hey folks, NXT just went off the air and we're going live to talk about NXT, all the things that's going on. As you see in the main picture, we have a very sad Wesley. We get to see who are the final two people in both the men and females Iron Survivor match. We're going to talk about it. I'm the Great Grand Slam Pooba, and filling in for the Wrestling Doll is the executive consultant, and we're going to talk about it all after the intro. Hey everybody, you already heard the intro. This is Unpopular Review, the NXT review show. I'm the Great Grand Slam Pooba. You can always catch me here on Tuesdays and maybe any other day when there's wrestling. And I'm joined with the outstanding, the executive consultant. You didn't do the thing with the pen. There we go. He does the thing with the pen. Filling in for the Wrestling Doll, who was at tonight's episode of NXT. Executive consultant EC. I know you're a busy man. You're planning for this big thing called the award show next week. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, actually. This was a chaotic episode of NXT. A chaotic episode. It was all over the place. I'm still trying to keep up.
I like that it was so chaotic that you was trying to find the words because it was so chaotic even up here in the brain. And we see you guys in the chat. We see George coming back to doing his original gimmick of being the first person in the chat. So shout out to George Samuel Lewis. I learned that on Saturday. We have Warman. He's back. Walter, it's great to see you. Drinking some water. It's great to drink water. Water's good for the skin and for the insides. And then we got New H-Man who says the go-home show for NXT Deadline was great. It was a fun show. I thought there was a lot of hits and some stuff. I was like, that's okay. But I thought it opened up very well. It opened up with a fatal four-way. Want to make sure I got that right. It was a fatal four-way. These were the women who tried to be involved in the Iron Survivor match. And now this was their last chance. You have Roxanne Perez. You have Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. Let me ask you real quick. You're the special guest here. I mean, this is your baby, but still you're the special guest. What did you think about this match before I talk about it a little bit? I want to hear your thoughts. One EC.
My apologies. Which match? I didn't hear.
The very first match. That's how we do things here. The order.
Remember, I was doing another show, so I don't remember everything. So what was the first match?
I got you, sir. It was
Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. Okay, that match was good. These two, no, it was the last chance, right? It was Roxanne Perez, Kiana James, Thea Hale, who's really has impressed me over the last couple months with her work as Thea Hale. I see big things for her in the future. I do like Kiana James. I've said that repeatedly. I think she's also a very good talent that's going to do a lot of good things in the main event. Like I said, I think Tiffany is it, but I do see Kiana James where she has some things going on. Roxanne Perez, yeah, but she's getting there, and she was entertaining this match. This match was very entertaining. Like I said, this is a chaotic night. Already start off with people going to the table. I was a little surprised to Fallon Henry pick up the W. I think of all five women, she's the least there, in my opinion. But still, she had a very good promo later that night. We'll talk about it. Still had a strong showing in this match. So I actually was a fan of this match. I liked this match, and it started off with the women. Once again, I'll say it. I say it offline and online. Pay attention to NXT and what they're doing with the women. NXT is the future. That is how your Raw and SmackDown is going to look very, very soon, where half of the show, if not majority sometime, are going to be women.
I just want to give a big shout out for awesome stuff from what you just said there, EC. But I have to do Jack Peck's favorite son, first son, H-Man, is in the chat. We were actually talking about you earlier because we were asking, where is H-Man? And you are here. We brought you into existence. Glad to see you back in the chat. Honestly, with the award show, my pick for fan of the year is definitely you. So I'm glad to see you back in there. He also writes, I hope Kiana wins this feud, to be honest. She always get momentum just to lose the feud. That's true. She doesn't really win the big one, right? And I think Roxanne Perez, she's somebody who she's established that if she takes this L, it's not going to hurt her, right? We'll have to wait and see. I think we will have a prediction show later in the week talking about Deadline. I know we'll be reviewing it on Saturday, me and the Wrestling Doll. So please tune in for that on Saturday after Deadline. But yeah, I agree. This match was really good. It was a great way to start the match. There was a lot of elements in here with Roxanne and Kiana James having this rivalry, and they almost canceled themselves out in this match. The table spot was pretty cool. And I didn't expect Fallon Henley to win. Now, I can't tell you who did I think was going to win. I didn't think Roxanne. I didn't think Kiana. And I said, I don't know about Thea. But Fallon Henley was the last person I thought would win. But hey, they shocked the hell out of me. And this is an opportunity. Last year, Kiana James was in the Iron Survivor match, right? And I missed a good portion of that because I was traveling on my way back home just so I could watch it and then review the show later that night. But a lot of people was giving Kiana James her flowers. So I say for Fallon Henley, this is an opportunity for her to stand out and show what she can do, and maybe she can have a breakout performance. Because I know a lot of people might be looking at her and like, I don't know about this one, but she's gonna have an opportunity. And we're gonna talk about all the women that's going to be involved in this Iron Survivor match, because you got Lash Legend, you got Tiffany Stratton, Kehlani Jordan. We got Fallon Henley, and it was one more. Blair. I'm sorry, I was blanking there. We got Good Chris in the chat. He says Roxanne Perez is not taking the L. And we got New Age Man say, how are you guys feeling? Very well. We're glad that you're here. But good stuff. This was a great way to open up the show. NXT don't really miss when it comes to their women matches. These women really bust their ass and put on a really good performance. After that, we have Paxley. Oh, matter of fact, during this match, I'm sorry, Paxley was just spying on Lyra Valkyria. So it's nice that they're trying to implement her a little bit. I think she's featured a lot on NXT Level Up, but I don't watch it enough because I've been hearing people give her high praise and say that they would love to see her more, and mainly on the main NXT. And she had an opportunity tonight. There was an interview with Lyra and Lola Vice, and Paxley was out there, and it's set up for later in the night for Paxley to go against Lola Vice. Now let's talk about Wesley. You know, you've seen the graphic. It's very sad. Wesley, the greatest North American champion. I know we disagree, and that's fine because I'm just right. That's okay. Wesley, he comes out. First they show him with crutches, and I was like, what happened here? I don't recall him ever having an injury. And when he comes out, he talks about winning the championship this Saturday from Dom Mysterio, talking about he wanted to have this match, win the championship, and beat him up because he knows he's a better performer than him. But he said he's been having pain in his leg. I thought this injury was going to be talking about his leg, but then it was revealed that he had a back injury. He gives the crowd their props, saying he's the reason why he was able to be as great of a North American champion as he was, because of the crowd being behind him. He said he's not sure when he will return. He said this is not goodbye. It's just see you later. And once again, I thought this was all work. I thought it was a work to get Dom in the ring, and he does something, but it was revealed that this is a serious injury, and he's going to be out to 8 to 12 months. Dom comes out and he starts poking the bear. He's like, "Oh, look, you're going home again, huh? You're going home. You're, that's too bad that you can't compete on Saturday. Look like I'm going to have the night off." And he was really excited about that. And that's when Wesley said, No, dog. That's not how this works. No. He tells him that he's going to have a match this Saturday, and it's against the guy who cannot mind his freaking business at all. And I'm talking about Dragon Lee. Look, I don't have no sympathy for Dominic Mysterio. I think he's not the greatest North American champion of all time. But let me paint this picture a little bit here. So Wesley says, no. I have something for you. So we go to the Titantron, and I see Rey Mysterio, who have no business. Why is he on NXT? Why is he there? I thought he was hurt. I thought he was sewing his mask. But no, he's there on NXT. He's out there. I was having a really great night, too, until I saw Rey Mysterio, by the way. I ordered from Wingstop. I ordered some wings. I was having the time of my life. I was watching NXT, and I said, I'm going to be here on Tuesday to do the Unpopular Review NXT review show for you guys. And then Rey Mysterio shows up. The great fraud Rey Mysterio. And then he sits here and says, no, son. You're not going to take the night off. That's not how things roll. And then he brings out Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee, the same guy who got his ass kicked at Survivor Series by the second greatest luchador of all time, Santos Escobar. Why is he getting an opportunity at the North American Championship, Chris? Why is he getting an opportunity at that? Didn't he lose to Santos? Why are we rewarding losers? Isn't he about to get his ass kicked again this Friday? What is happening? And who gave him this power? Why does Rey Mysterio have this kind of power?
The same person who gave...
No. That's not for you to talk. It's not your time to talk. This is my show. But why? Who gave him this power? I thought he was a wrestler. That's like me going up to my job and just being like, hey, I have a suggestion. No, that's not how this works. Chris, take the floor. I'm really worked up right about now.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. So basically, this was Rey Mysterio got the power, to answer your question, from the same person who gave Ava Rain, or whatever her name is, Rock's daughter, the power to make matches.
That's different. That's different.
Here's
the Rock's daughter. It's the Rock's daughter. Come on, stop it.
When Wesley came out with his little crocodile tears and talking about some sad crap and stuff, I thought it was work too. I was like, don't fall for it, Dirty Dom. Don't fall for it. That little single shit. I guess he was thinking about dog dying or something. I don't know.
You're just a nasty person.
Interrupted by the greatest North American champion of all time, and Dirty Dom, who should have just had the night off because it's not his fault that Wesley got injured. So why is he going to get punished for it? And how does he get punished? We skip everybody who's actually on the NXT roster to bring in the Dragon Lee. Why? What did I tell you the other day offline? Rey Mysterio has pull. So Rey Mysterio said, if Wes Lee can't make it, how about we take out the West and put Dragon and have Dragon Lee fight him instead? Because we're still going to have a Lee fight Dirty Dom. More importantly, I hated this segment. Let me tell you why I hated this segment. One, because NXT fans are rude. Well, okay, Dahlia Dark and I will have a conversation about that later. Nico Extra and I will have a conversation about that later. But also, Rey Mysterio was clearly reading a card, and I hate that. I hate being able to see that he is reading a cue card. He did not remember his lines. And that bothered the hell out of me. Or is he really your boy? Is he really your Hermano? If you had to remember that it was Dragon Lee that had to be there, and of course now you're going to be there on Sunday. Why? You just got injured. You're going to be Royal Rumble Saturday. You're going to be injured past Royal Rumble. Stay home and rest. I'm hoping what's going to happen, and I'll say this because I thought that because Dahlia Dark's not here, I thought Dirty Dom was going to lose the championship on Saturday. I really did.
I thought that too. I'm still got a good opportunity here, but go ahead, finish your thought.
To lose now because you put Dragon Lee in there. That told me he's not going to lose because now that Ray's in the corner, that solidifies he's not losing. Because also who's going to be there is one Santos Escobar. So I'm happy.
That's great.
To keep his NXT North American Championship.
Santos Escobar should be out there. You know who this would have never happened to? That's right.
So who's next?
Juventud Guerrera. You will not cut me off. I have pull hair. You are not going to treat me like somebody who won't do shows. So yeah, let's do that. The next segment
won't even do the awards. We got to talk.
I know that's hilarious. I laughed. Negative. As soon as I saw that, I almost choked on my water when he said that. Negative. The nerve. We got good Chris in the chat. He says Dominic Mysterio is losing. All right. The next segment that we have. Next segment here, we got Lola Vice going against Tatum Paxley. I feel like I've asked you before, but just because we're on air, how do you feel about Lola Vice?
I see the progression each and every single week. I see the character work each and every single week. Her over, what's her friend's name?
Alexa
Lopez.
Yes.
She's not there yet, but I see the potential. Mm-hmm. I see, the only problem I have with women's wrestling in WWE especially, There's nothing negative, but they all talk, and I know we have to be animated as wrestlers, right? Men and women. But they all talk the same to me sometimes with their hands. And that shit, especially the ones in NXT, they all talk kind of catty. You know, it gets kind of annoying. And we'll talk more about that when we get to their.
You're talking about that? You're talking about that segment, the summon.
But they all do that. Even when they're backstage, they all talk like this. Like, you have to know that everyone's talking and they're women. And that bothers me sometimes. But I do see Lola. I see the progression, and I can't wait to see what happens with her. But it needs to be a slow build, and as long as it's a slow build, I see her doing a lot of things.
Speaking of one wrestling doll, she says, hello to my UPR family. Hello, partner. You are missed on here, but I know we'll be back next week, and we'll be winning Best Duo next week.
Well, you have a lot of competition.
No, we have a lot of Chris in that category, okay? Stop. And we also got H-Man who says the great Juventud. So the Juventud movement has been going strong. Thank you, H-Man, because he gets it. Not a lot of people understand how great Juventud Guerrera is, the greatest luchador of all time. Take that, the fraudulent Rey Mysterio. I have to do that every show. People look forward for me to do that. Lola Vice, she goes against Tatum Paxley.
Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. It's like the same thing. Like you it's like when the show with Mike Knox.
I'm prettier though.
I've got something to say.
You guys don't get that joke, but this guy's a dick. I just want that to be known. He's such a dick. But we had Lola Vice going against Tatum Paxley. I mean, I thought this was some standard stuff here. Lola Vice, I felt like she looked a little bit better in the ring this time around. And this is not to like crap on her, but you could tell that she's still learning on the go, right? But I felt like here, I saw that I felt like the strikes were a little bit more, not necessarily fluid, but just it looked more crisp, if that makes sense. Tatum Paxley, it's nice that she was on TV. I don't know when was the last time that she was on NXT, and I'll just say Prime, meaning this version NXT, not what do they call it, Level Up. But she was out there. I thought she did a pretty solid job. I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts into this. Lola Vice was the winner. I thought that was the right move, especially with Lola Vice being the breakout tournament winner. She needs to win. That might have. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it would have harmed her if she took this L to Tatum Paxley?
I think so too. I mean, I do think so. I think Lola needs to continue this build that they're pushing with her, this slow build, as I mentioned earlier. And just like you said, hey, you see the progression she has. You see the maturation she has in the ring. Her strikes look a little bit more realistic, a little bit stiffer. That is what they're doing. They're taking the time with her, and that's always the best way to build something up. One of the things I used to say about the brand split, and I'll turn it back over to you, back in the day, when Raw was the clear winner. I'm talking about before the second incarnation that happened in 2016. When Raw was the clear, we're the better brand. A lot of times during the draft, I always said that Raw will rape SmackDown, right? Rape SmackDown of all their talent. And then SmackDown will be starting over with all this new talent. And it will be kind of tough to watch. Kind of like NXT was when they went to NXT 2.0. A little tough to watch. I don't think it was as bad as people thought, but a little tough to watch.
Sure.
Once you get, and this is what we were talking about a couple weeks ago when I talked about the Thunderdome, but once you get a chance to really build that process instead of abandoning it, just keep at it. Sooner or later, it's going to click. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with Lola. Keep at it. She has the potential. Let her have the progression. Sooner or later, she's going to be a threat. And that women's division is going to be on fire, especially when Jade Cargill gets there.
Great stuff from the executive one. But yeah, and I just want to get into the chat real quick. The official camera woman. I know I'm going to see you next week, and we're going to win. H-Man, new H-Man says, "Okay, I'm back in, guys. Where's Wrestling Doll today?" She was actually at NXT. She was there. And we have H-Man. He says both looked good. That's new H-Man. This is original H-Man. Both looked good tonight. And he also says, talking about original H-Man, he says Tatum will be a heel. She could take a few L's and still get established. Yeah. And I feel like the crowd likes her too. Like, I feel like people like it. Like
the crowd does like her. Paxley,
right?
Yeah, and there's some other people. Another woman I want to mention is like really
Sure.
over NXT crowd, but we'll talk about it once we get to the summit that we're talking about. But
but why don't you just say before we go? Why don't you just say
Kalani James or Jordan, whatever her name is?
Yeah, Kalani Jordan. No, Jordan.
Yeah,
for
some reason they just love her.
You're not a fan of
about her. She's pretty. I see the talent of her athletic ability. I'm not sold on her skills yet as somebody who's going to draw me in as a wrestler, but I do see where she's not bad.
So let me ask you real quick, if I can ask you real quick, sir. So Lola and Kiana had that match, and I personally thought Kiana should have won for the breakout tournament, and they went with Lola. So you was okay with Lola going over Kiana?
Because it's the same thing with the Money in the Bank. It's the expression, the title makes the man, so to speak. So
sure,
I don't think it would have helped Lola any more than I don't think it would help Kalani any more than she already was. She was already popular. You saw that from when she wrestled when we went to NXT a month and a half ago or so. Right? Yeah. She was already popular. Lola is still stagnant. Like, she has a backing, but Kalani is, as far as popularity in that NXT arena, she's a little bit over. Kalani can still build with just that without having that contract. Lola now has more eyes on her because of the contract, and she's building and building. That's exactly what the Money in the Bank was for. Also, building and building. That's why some people don't like where certain people have it.
Good point. I think this is a great point, and I think also this is a great part to do going to a commercial.
First of all, have you listened to Badguy Jack? He butchers names all the time. Stop.
I've gotten better. Don't do that. That is the first son of the Jack Back community. You don't get to talk to him. I do. He's with me.
That's not exactly a W. Hey, you said commercial. Run it.
No, you run it. I'm the host. You run it. Do something instead of drinking water with your Sean Patrick Thomas haircut. Do something.
Can you run a commercial?
This sucks. All right, let me see. Do we have any commercials in here? I feel like NXT gets treated like crap. Do we have anything in here? Oh, we do. Okay. Commercial.
Let's say there's plenty. Do you like Jelly Roll?
I see where this is going. Are you talking about the donut or the artist?
The artist.
I don't know who that is. I stopped listening to music. I just realized Dojo Cat is not a cat. It's a person. I thought it was a cat. I just learned that Ice Spice has a
Doja Cat was you probably listened to a lot of Doja Cat songs.
I thought it was a cat. I honestly, personally thought it was a cat, but I saw it was a person. I said, well, this is disappointing, but whatever. I just learned Ice Spice is not one of the Spice Girls. My point is, I stopped listening to music after 2010, so I don't know who any of these people are.
I can tell.
Thank you.
Jelly Roll was at Monday Night Raw. R-Truth had a segment with him. They had a segment backstage with the New Day, all this other stuff. He actually made a couple songs for WWE.
Who, the donut?
He's extremely popular, but you don't know who he is.
I'm more of a fan of glazed donuts, personally.
I can't deny it. I don't know who Jelly Roll is either. I didn't know who Jelly Roll was.
Thank you. You sit here trying to make me look like a fool. You're a liar.
The Doja Cat thing, I'm a little strange. And both my roommates called, so now I'm about to go crazy. I don't see how you could not know who Doja Cat is. She made so much music, but I go to clubs. Mm-hmm. But you don't know who Jelly Roll is? Hey, more power to you. I didn't know who the hell that guy is.
You know, I've been getting cooked for that commercial. They're like, how do you not know who Dojo the Cat is? I'm like, sorry, I don't know.
Well, first of all, it's Doja Cat. And while I say this again, I'm going to put up this. The name is Doja Cat. And I'm sure you've heard her music before. You know,
I've played Fortnite once or twice, but I do want to look at New H Man because he did says, yes, I do like Jelly Roll. So we have someone who knows who Jelly Roll the Countryman is.
That's the first one in the comments. Everybody else has said they didn't know who Jelly Roll is either.
I gotta say,
commercial on the football show earlier, they're like, I don't know who Jelly Roll is, but one person did know.
Oh, in the chat or the host?
Football show, one person didn't know who Jelly Roll was.
I did want to say real quick, and I wish I said it when we did the review on Saturday, because there was a funny spot on Monday where Randy Orton ran by him and he could smell the weed on him or something like that. Did you remember he did that? He said, that's you, isn't it? That's you. So yeah, Jelly Roll. Matter of fact, WWE introduced me to a few people because him and Hardy. Did you know who Hardy was before Royal Rumble? Okay, there we go. The face says it all. That is the face of a tired man.
No, I didn't even know who Hardy is now. There's certain people that after that, I still can't pick them out of a lineup if I saw them on my TV screen.
Sure.
If Jelly Roll was on a commercial, I wouldn't have.
Here we go.
What?
Matter of fact, not for nothing. I would have, if you just said, who's Jelly Roll? I said, does he say the Barmageddon song, right after Raw? And we got good Chris. He says, I like Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is a sweetheart. How can you not like Roxanne Perez? And H-Man, new H-Man will let me know that Dojo the Cat is a rapper. So the next thing we have is Alpha Academy against the Metaphor.
Match of the night to me.
Yeah, this was a fun match. This was fun. I thought it started off a little slow, but then it started really picking up. As I was watching this match, I immediately was like, Chad Gable and Noam Dar have such good chemistry. It's something about where you give them time. That would have been such a fun match back in the day. Takeover, you give them 15, 20 minutes and the crowd's going to go crazy because these guys are just, it's something about something that it's just some magic there. A few weeks ago, you was on there with both me and Wrestling Dog, and we were talking about, they had that, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on that match. What do they call this? The Heritage Cup match. The rules and stuff. I'm just not a fan of it. But I said, if you just let these guys go out there, they're going to kill it. And I thought, you got to see a little bit of that. Otis is great. How can you not like Otis? Otis is just, he's hilarious. Like as I was watching his match, I was thinking about his progression in wrestling, right? He used to team up with, it was Tucky, but I forget what his actual name was. But I remember him teaming up with him, and then he ended up having a solo run, and he was always just a fun-loving guy. And in this match where it's him, and he has a thing with, listen, Otis just loves women. Otis just loves women. He don't care. He's for it. Mandy Rose. Tucky. Who was it? Mandy Rose. There was another woman that he was into.
Maxine.
It's Maxine, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's Maxine.
Oh, it's just Maxine. Oh, Mandy and Maxine. Okay. And now he has a thing for Lash. Lash don't want to have anything to do with this man. But the spot where she picks him up, I was trying to get the notes because after this, I do want to talk about the breakout tournament and the names because I was trying to get the names before the show. So I missed it at first. But when I hear people go, whoa, when she slams, and she gets Otis up pretty good and slams him. Really sick spot, really good stuff. I honestly think that was a moment maker for a Lash legend. Alpha Academy gets the win. Noam Dar tries to take over. I think I don't know the name for kick. I'm sorry, I can't think of his finishing name, but he tries to go for it. But Chad Gable ducks. He hits the ankle lock, and that was the story of the match. He kept hitting the ankle lock on Noam Dar, but Noam Dar wouldn't tap. But this time around, he did tap. And the Alpha Academy gets the win over the Metaphor. Fun match. I do agree. You said match of the night. I can see why this is match of the night. This was just a fun match. And also, too, I didn't even get to talk about hiccups. Hiccups show up whenever they want. Didn't even get to talk about Oro because Oro was great. There was a fun spot with him and Chad where he does the sign that you was just doing. He was doing like this. And Chad Gable grabbed his hands and put the sign up and said, thank you. Chad Gable is great. I still see him as the one to take the title off Gunther, even though it's starting to look a little different now. I'm not too sure anymore, but I still have him penciled in. But the executive consultant, please give your thought and knowledge on what did you think about this match?
I can tell you like this.
Will you grow up? It was great to see her too. She's fantastic.
Metaphor, if you don't see the value of Metaphor in NXT, I'm not exactly sure what entertains you or what interests you. And I'm not just saying this because I have such a huge crush on this woman. I'm saying this in general because they are just very entertaining. And that's why I say it all the time. If you are on television, right, win or lose, if you are on television every week, that means the company sees something in you. Sean obviously sees something in these four individuals. Lash Legend, I liked her little talk show segment she started off with, but her in-ring work was not there. And I was like, I don't think she's going to stick around. Mm-hmm. Her being in there and seeing her progression, that seems to be the theme. That seems to be the word of this week. of this evening, I should say. Her progression is amazing because now her character work is getting her over. Just like Oro. He's a very good in-ring talent, but now his character work is getting him over. And this all credited, in my opinion, to Noam Dar, just like Chad Gable is getting Otis and Maxine. Dupree and Tozawa over. That's why they had such good chemistry in the ring, because I think Noam Dar is low-key similar to Chad Gable. And they put them in there against each other during this NXT, and it was an amazing time from in-ring wrestling and character work. I can see this time next year, Metaphor going up to the main roster. Now, granted, I'm not saying they're going to have a main event push. That's not where I think their bag is, but I see that's the gimmick that's going to take them to the main roster and get them noticed because they're very entertaining. I enjoyed every segment of this match. The crowd seemed into it. Wrestling Dolph, she saw the comments. She could corroborate that story or not, but they seem to be into it. And I love Jakari Jackson. She didn't do much, but her presence, she has the look, her presence, she works well with them, just like Akira Tozawa works well with the Alpha Academy. And the one other person I want to give a shout out to, and then I'll turn it back over to you, bad guy, is Maxine Dupree, who I thought just a model. She is nothing. There's nothing else she can do but be a maximum male model, so to speak, right? When she joined the Alpha Academy, I said, oh, they just want to do this with Otis so Otis can split and all this other stuff. But it worked. They kept her in it because she wasn't supposed to be in it and stay in it. They kept her in it, and she has also progressed and matured and learned. Her spot yesterday, even when it was just Akira Tozawa, where she was doing the squats, very, very impressive. And I see where she's trying to learn in that ring. Just kind of like Lana used to, but I think she's doing a better job. And I'm looking forward to see her progression as well. It is a bright, bright future for wrestling fans, especially in WWE, especially in NXT. And it is a very good time to be a wrestling fan when you see how much talent is out there.
It's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of things that you said, and I agree with. I think her being underneath the tree of Chad Gable, talking about Maxine, has helped her out. And it's funny that you mentioned that part about, you know, everyone thought the Alpha Academy was going to break up. Otis was going to leave. They didn't go that route, which is, I think I had to say, worked out for the best, because I think everybody in that group, in that Alpha Academy, even Tozawa, someone that I want to give credit to you, because you mentioned always been a fan of his. Tozawa's always been kind of an interesting fellow, right? But now he's having an opportunity to really show his thing, because you know why? That's nasty. Tozawa nasty. Let's talk about the Championship Summit, but before we get to that, let's talk about this breakout tournament. So, the breakout tournament, they had the women's breakout tournament a few weeks back. It finished with Lola Vice getting the dub. We got H-Man in the chat. He says Maxine Dupree's supremacy. The room interrupted when Alpha Academy won. I could believe that. You know, next time I come out there in Florida, I'm throwing it out there again. I want to go to another NXT show. I had a fantastic time. And I want hot dogs. I don't know if y'all have hot dogs out there, but I want a hot dog.
Coming down to NXT, that means you got to come down here another Tuesday.
I will be out there for another Tuesday. And let's do it again. Disney World NXT. And no, but we talked about Disney.
Oh, you want to go Disney? Okay, we go Disney. All right.
But Universal was fun. I had a fantastic time there. I got on that Spider-Man ride. I had a blast. It was great. But let's talk about the breakout tournament. We have 8 gentlemen in here. We have Riley Osborne, Keon Carver, Tevon Heights, Dion Lexington, Lucas. I know this is the lawyer, and I always mess his name up. I think it's Crucifon. We got Miles Bourne, Trey Bearhill, and Oba Fema. And I'm hoping I said that man's name right, because that is a big black man, and he looked like he could throw me out of North America. But so far, the fan favorite for me, and I feel like Oba, and I'm hoping I'm saying this gentleman's name right. I feel like he had one match on NXT. I feel like he went against Oro, actually. But I could be wrong. And we got, there we go, H-Man. I'm hoping to say that right, too. Obar for the win. I can see him win, but what do you think about
R? Where do you see R?
You don't want to know what my vision is like, Christopher.
It's Oba Fini.
I was very close. Oba. Now, why don't you give your thoughts? What do you think about these these talented men in this tournament?
I am not too familiar with them, so I can't really make a prediction right now. But I do believe it's going to be very entertaining when they WWE and NXT official Shawn Michaels puts these people on camera. He does not put them on camera not being ready for what's going to happen. And so in that NXT crowd, I mean, as much as I can't stand them, I know they're Orlando, but I can't stand it because I feel like they baby these wrestlers too much to the point where they're not ready necessarily when they get to the main roster. They still will create an aura where they will make them seem better than what they are for the camera and for TV. And these people are going to go out there and you're going to see the future of WWE. Everything about NXT is the future. That's why they changed it the way they did. And some people don't like that part, but I do like that. The fact that they show you the future, because like I said, the future looks bright and they're training them the right way. It is great to see. I can't wait to see it, but no, I can't make a prediction on this right now.
I got Obar. And H-Man, he added to what I was saying earlier. He said he had one match and beat Oro so bad. That's why I was chuckling. He turned tail. That would turn anyone ill. You should see me when I lose in Super Smash Bros. I am not the nicest person in the world. Or in Street Fighter. Or just any fighting game. I'm pretty bad at that stuff. Let's talk about the Championship Summit. We have Tiffany, Kulani, Lash Legend. Why did I put Belair here? Why did I do that? That's the wrong name. It's not Belair. Anyway, the women that's in the Iron Survivor match, they had an opportunity to talk. Tiffany started off. We had Byron Saxton out there. He was hosting this. Tiffany comes out. She brags about herself. She talks about her being the only one to be the women's champion. She also talked about getting the praise from one Charlotte Flair when she says that she is okay. Let me finish this up real quick. But gets to brag about Charlotte putting her as the future. Lash comes out and starts just disrespecting Kalyani, calls Tiffany out for also losing to Becky. Then Kalyani starts, she says, I understand that I am the rookie here. I don't have the most experience, but what are you going to do against my gymnastic skills? And you also have, why did I put Belair? I'm sorry. I'm so blanking on this girl's name. Davenport. That's what I think I was trying to put. She talked about how
Blair Davenport is her name.
Thank you. I was rushing. I put Blair. That was terrible. But she talked about injuring people. And she said, I don't care about any of you guys. Like, I'm not here. I don't have that cool. I'm not gonna say no one line. I'm just gonna hurt you guys. Then a big brawl eventually breaks out. We have Henley, he calls out all the hills. She says, me and Keanu, I said, I have no beef, but I need to win this. She gets to Tiffany's face and say, yeehaw, bitch. And then she elbows her in the face. A brawl happens. Byron is really upset and said, you girls promised y'all wouldn't do this. And a brawl happens. These girls fight. And then we get to the next match. But before we get to the next match, we're going to hit a commercial. And we're going to continue to talk about some NXT. This is NXT Unpopular Review. We'll be right back after these words.
The rumors going around at AEW, one of the reasons why I keep Marshall is because they're focusing more on in-ring athleticism as opposed to storyline talent in that match. Do you agree with this direction, if it's true, or do you think it's a bad move?
I don't agree with the framing of it. I think they said that they're gearing towards more of a New Japan pro wrestling style of booking, which is not devoid of storytelling. It's just a different type of storytelling. People like to do that. They like to pretend that you can either be a soap opera or you're GCW Bloodsport. Like, there is an in-between. You can have a product that focuses on storytelling. This is actually something that Triple H has spoken about, because that was kind of a big part of his character. You can tell stories in the ring. You can tell stories about people as wrestlers. You can be a wrestler, and that is your character, as opposed to being a character that wrestles. And so, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that they're listening people who, when we call on you, you're going to put on a good match. And people are going to be invested in your matches. Because you have to get people invested in the matches. Like, that's why they sell pay-per-views. That's why they're able to do that. Because you can watch a show on Netflix if you want a character. But if I'm going to pay you $50 to watch the show, that's 3 hours of wrestling. I better care about those matches, and they better be good matches. That's one thing about AEW. They don't miss with their pay-per-views. If you give them $50, they're going to give you $50 worth of whatever the fuck. And the people that they're trusting have to be able to deliver that. So,
shout out to the AEW team, the Sheriff. Sometimes he's executive consultant, sometimes Dan the Man, sometimes me. Oh, it's a good time. You should tune in if you guys are interested in Dynamite. I just want to say to Sheriff, shout out to her. It's great to have her back on the team. She was talking about AEW don't miss. I also sit here and say they'll keep you up till 3 a.m. if you watch their pay-per-views.
They want you to have a good time. They want you to get your money's worth. Before we dive into the next match, which the segment before that we talked about bled into this match, I want to talk about that. Just like I love the Alpha Academy versus Metaphor match, this was my favorite segment of the night. These 5 women, I felt like every single one of them killed it on the microphone. Tiffany always does a fantastic job as it is. Anyway, Lash Legend was able to command the segment and bring eyes to her. I thought it was very, very well done. Kiana James looked like the baby face that you just want to like, and Fallon looked like the upstart that has a fighting chance. I just thought it was done very, very, very well. I just see bright futures for all these women. I really do. I'm excited.
Great stuff here. And I think it's going to be actually a really, really fun match. I look forward to watching NXT Deadline. Last year when I saw the Iron Survivor match, it was just a different kind of match. Matter of fact, we didn't even get to mention this. H-Man. Oh God, H-Man, you was missing the chat, dude. He says the Underthicker is back, and he's talking about one Nikita Lyons. She is back, and she got her look back on Blair. She laid her out, and it's great to have her back. Was she out for a year, or was it just she was out for a good portion of this year? You're muted.
I'm muted to talk, right? She was supposed to be out for a year. She actually was out for the better part of a year. She didn't make a full year back, but I know that she always tried to keep herself relevant in social media because she was at the height of her career. Sad to say, much like Wes Lee. Wes Lee, from what we were told, was supposed to be out 8 months to a year. So that can hurt you, especially since Wes Lee just came back from injury not too long ago. Now, is Nikita ready to go? I'm not sure. It looks like she's ready to go soon. It'll be just another ripple in the waves of NXT in that women's division, in that women's locker room, because we haven't even really mentioned the NXT Women's Champion yet, and we've talked about a lot of women tonight.
We did. Axiom and Nathan Fraser had a match. It was no finish. There's no point of even trying to go into this whole thing. They're going to have a match on Saturday. This match went to a no finish because these women who were brawling before this match brought right back out, and Axiom and Nathan Fraser just stopped fighting because they were like, hey, there's a lot of women fighting. Next segment here, we have Andre Chase. Chase University. Chase U is now under academic probation because of this guy's gambling problems. Now, I've been saying for the longest time, look at the bottom here. Look at these wrestlers. Gigi Dolan, Carmelo Hayes, Cora Jade, and the fantastic JC Jane. Love her. I thought she was great in this segment. Andre, when he talked about all the money that he spent and it was his fault and all that stuff, Thea tries to make up to Andre. She says, how much money is it? How much money did you spend so we can help? JC Jane says, why us? Good point, JC Jane. The same JC Jane that you guys thought it was her fault that this whole thing with Chase U was happening. Meanwhile, it was Andre Chase, the gambler. I don't see JC Jane gambling. And also, too, you know what I didn't like? I think JC Jane deserves all the screen time in the world. She's great. And I didn't like that when she raised her hand, Andre never picked her. I know that feeling. I used to hate that in school because I didn't raise my hand a lot because I
probably in physical education class too, right?
Quiet you. So when I raised my hand and I didn't get picked, I hated it because I was usually had the actual answer because I didn't raise my hand. She raised her hand, so she wanted to help, but then he kept picking these idiots. The one who said, "Hey, let's have a cookie sale. Oh, let's have a car wash." Fools. Just top of the line idiots. And he didn't pick JC Jane, who probably had the best idea, didn't do that. And then we had to see this dumb thing with Thea's all attracted to some guy with some stubble on his face. And she's he's so, this is so CW. Tui. What did you think about this segment?
I liked it. Don't call me Patrick, but I liked the segment. It was a very, very entertaining segment. Chase is good. He plays every character he plays very well. And there was so many characters and so many different, I won't say storylines, but things involved that intertwine. I'm interested to see where they're going to go, and I'm interested to see the direction. It's interesting. That's really all I have. I found it very interesting.
You suck. We got the unofficial camerawoman. She says, "I got annoyed. I want you to highlight that. I
did. It was up for like 3 minutes while you were.
Well, I want it up there again. I got annoyed when he ignored JC when she tried to say, "Thank you." See, she's starting to see it the JC way. Why wasn't JC picked? Chris, why was she not picked?
Well, she usually stirs.
I'm not proud of you. No, go ahead. I'm just joking.
She usually stirs up trouble as opposed to actually.
No. Oh my God. I just got a migraine from that idiotic comment of yours. Oh my God. I have a headache. I might have to call out for the rest of the week. Oh my God. I'm so injured. I can't do the Saturday show with you, Chris. I'm hurt. I just suffered a brain injury, and there's nothing that can be fixed. JC has always done well with her animated antics. That's from the fantastic H-Man, the great answer, Grand Poobah. This guy was missed. I missed this guy. You don't even know. I missed him a lot.
I don't. No, I don't.
No, well, you're not really that smart. So let's go with the next match we have. We have a fatal four-way, and this is to see who's the last participant in the Iron Survivor. Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, Carmelo Hayes, Eddie Thorpe. But before we get to that segment, before we get to that match, let's talk about this segment. There was early in the night, they had video of Carmelo and Trick. You know, they dapping, they're cool. They're like, "Yo, we boys." And Trick leaves. This is NXT Anonymous, right? I feel like, how long has this guy been going? For a whole year or something? Like, NXT Anonymous has been going on for like a whole year. No one, I like how even Booker T asks, "Who is this guy?" Booker T with the heavy questions. But you see Trick going through his phone, and it looked like he's texting a certain King. And we're not talking about Jerry. We're talking about Lexus King. Lexus King, who also was stirring up the pot as well. I gotta say, he looked like he has some strong teeth. You ever seen his teeth?
No.
Oh. I mean, they're very nice. I'm not hating. They're very nice, but they just look very strong.
NXT Anonymous is brought to you by the same person who used to bring you GTV back in the day. I do believe we're going to find out who it is soon. And it should be Ava Raine, in my opinion.
Why? I'm interested in her.
It gives her something to do. I think she's one of the least interesting characters in NXT right now.
We got the unofficial cameraman, them people on the hard cam. I mean, they kept saying Mello was guilty, but like they said, innocent until proven guilty. That is from my co-host. But yeah, Trick sees the. I like this part right here, right? Trick saw the clip and he said, "Yo, what was that about, dog? What was that?" I like that because there's a lot of times, and you've been watching wrestling as long as I have, and you know, like the week prior something would happen, and they have video proof, but they don't see it and they ignore it. Trick said, I saw that clip. What was that about? That's true. That's absolutely true.
Just to throw him off.
Well, just like this, because everyone's saying Carmelo Hayes is the one behind Trick's attack, and to have it look like him and Lexus King are not working together. So I can see what you're saying. But Melo was like, yo, I got this match. Let me handle business. That was disgusting. I apologize. But he says, let me handle business and we'll talk about this. Trick goes, you only got, this is your last chance, Melo. And Melo laughs and says, Wu-Tang. Is that really Wu-Tang? Oh, okay. I thought this was a fun match. Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, Carmelo Hayes, Eddie Thorpe. Tyler Bate is great. Carmelo Hayes is great. Joe Coffey, I'm not super big on him, but I am a little impressed with. I'm kind of impressed with what he does in the ring. He has a good. Joe Coffey has just a good look to me. Like he has a really, really good look. Like I would not want to be in a bar with this guy, because I think he would outdrink me. That's why. I don't think he would fight me. I think he would just outdrink me.
Speaking of which, don't forget Gallus made an appearance tonight.
And Gallus made an appearance. Hold up. I'm sorry. Give me. Why don't you talk about this match? I just want to answer this thing real quick. When you unmute yourself.
Oh yeah, no, no problem. This match ended with another brawl. Really, after Tyler Bates picked up the victory. Should have known Tyler Bate was going to win this one. It makes sense for Tyler Bate to win this one because he's not really involved in the story. I still feel like somehow Tyler Bate's going to end up on the main roster, probably SmackDown very soon. But in the meantime,
you were saying that
throw him in this match because he knows how to put on an entertaining match. He knows how to work with almost anybody. Throw him in this match, another brawl away. Like I said, this was a chaotic episode of NXT. Action everywhere, storyline everywhere. Very, very good.
No, this was great. On Tyler getting the win. Eddie, he took the spine buster from Joe Coffey on the steel step, so he was out for the rest of the match. And I think what makes me excited about the Iron Survivor is just the elements that's put in here, right? You have Dijak, you have Braun Breaker, you have Tyler Bate, you have Trick Williams, you have Briggs, Josh Briggs. It just made me go like, this is gonna. I think they just have such good elements in here that's gonna make the match fun, and that's why I went in wrestling. I want to have fun when I watch it, so I'm interested in seeing how this all plays out and see how all these guys work together. Tyler Bate is fantastic. He hits the Tyler 97 on Joe Coffey, pins him. After the match, he takes the mic and he says, "I know more about peace and stuff, but the hell with that. I'm gonna win that Iron Survivor Challenge match." Then it comes Dijak. Dijak is great. Shout out to Charmaine. We see you in the chat. Hi, Charmaine. Eddie Thorpe has been an L his entire run, bro. Keeps getting destroyed and is not even getting. I'm not even going to hold you guys. I'm just not big on Eddie. I think he has a really cool the nameplate thing, and it says Eddie Thorpe. It looks cool as hell, but I don't resonate with Eddie. I know he tries. He puts his working boots on and that's the most I can give. He tries, but he's not hitting for me personally. He just doesn't do it for me. But shout out to him. He went out there and did what he could do. He also went out there with injured ribs. I was talking about Dijak. Dijak, as he's making his way out there, and Dijak is great, right? He walks out there. He says, he looks at Tyler Bate and he says, "You don't believe any of that crap that you're saying. Come on, shut up." And then he looks at Eddie and just kicks him. He said, "Hold on, give me a minute." And he proceeds to kick this man's ass. I'm like, this dude is already like hurt. Like, what are you doing, Dijak? But shout out to Dijak. I'm not gonna lie. I laughed at it and it was great. H-Man says Eddie was a DJ, the Wolf, then an ancestor Worcestershire, but nothing worked out. Yeah, he was a DJ? I keep seeing that. He was a DJ? I mean, I know you're shaking your head, but I'm just saying that for the
because
show.
I never heard that. That's news to me.
All right. I had no idea he was a DJ. I keep hearing that, but I just don't remember him just doing waka 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 waka. That was terrible. I'm sorry about that, guys. We have
You should
how come when we do the award show, how come we don't have Dick of the Year? Oh, right, because you would win it all the time.
I actually would, but not the way you're thinking.
You suck. Then Braun Breaker comes out, and then he says Braun Breaker stuff. He talks about, you guys don't want me to be the first one in the ring because then you guys will be in the penalty box. Braun is great. Braun is such a great heel. Then Briz come out and he hypes himself up. He said, I know you guys are doubting me. You guys don't believe in me, but I'm betting on myself and I'm gonna bring it home. I'm gonna bring it home. Then Trick comes out and he says, yo, I don't have time for any of this stuff. I'm not in the mood, but I'm gonna whoop that trick, and that trick. And then Dijak just always have something to say. And Dijak goes, oh, instead of whooping this trick, you should whoop your best friend. And then he gets attacked by one trick, and it's a brawl. So it's the same thing what happened with the women as with the men. Before we get into the matter of fact, real quick, before we get into the last segment thing, Mello and Trick have a backstage moment. Trick says, hey, what was that about? Talk to me. Be honest, Mello. Did you hit up Lexis King? Mel's like, why would I do that? You're my best friend. I'm not going to do that. And just to prove to you that we're not working together, I'm going to get in the ring with Lexis King. I'm going to handle business. Trick said, yeah, handle business. But this is what's going to happen Saturday. You're going to open the show, and I'm going to close the show. Mello didn't like that too well. So what everything that I just said, the executive consultant, please take the floor and give your thoughts on the segment. These two segments.
How's Mello now picking? Not Mello. How's Trick actually booking shows where he can say this is going to open and I'm going to close?
It sounds fair. I mean, if you could let one of the great fraudulent Rey Mysterio do that, I don't see why not.
It doesn't sound fair when you have the NXT Championship on the line. It's going to be interesting to talk about this when we do the predictions because I really am interested and curious to see who's going to win this Iron Survivor Challenge because I think this can go multiple ways.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me pick your brain real quick. Sure. What is one of the things that you? Because you said multiple ways. What is one of the ways that you're thinking?
Braun Breaker goes out there and just dominates everybody. And
do you think they do that?
I feel like he should. I think Braun has taken a little bit of a. Now he's still a strong presence, still a very strong presence in NXT. But if you look at his record, so to speak, he hasn't been as dominant since he's lost the NXT Championship. Not as much as he should, because when it comes to a crucial match, he takes that crucial L, and that's a problem. So to build him back where he needs to be, because he's going to be a problem on the main roster. And I'm not saying this is definitely what they have to do or definitely what they're going to do. I would have him go out there, dominate them all. Dominate. Best spirit in business.
He actually does. I can't take that away from him. He does have the best. What, he has the best spear?
I disagree. He has the best spirit in business, yes.
Who do you think got the best spear?
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah? I'm going to look at that. Do you, Charmaine says, do you think the Rock's door is going to wrestle? Eventually. I don't know what they doing NXT right Anonymous. Now. I don't know what they've been doing lately with her. Her character is so changed so much since not being with Joe Gacy anymore. She used to be the golf chick. And now she just want to play peace in the NXT locker room. And she wants to put everyone together and be all like...
Well, she can record them because she's a voyeur.
That is interesting. That is from the executive consultant. Guys, you guys are watching Unpopular Review. I feel like I wasn't doing a good job plugging, but let me just do some plugs real quick before we talk about the last segment. Unpopular Review. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. So subscribe. How far? What's the number we're away from YouTube? 6. So, I mean, if you have any friends, if you have a dog, tell them to subscribe to Unpopular Review. We talk wrestling. We have entertainment. We have this fun award show coming next week, and it's going to be a fantastic time. You're going to see multiple hosts
Matt
here.
Cardona.
Can you not? Can you be? Why are you so unprofessional? Why are you like this?
I learned from the master.
And don't you forget it. And we have all these great things, so continue to follow Unpopular Review. We have obviously an NXT show. We have an AEW show. Saturday, we have the Raw and SmackDown show. So if you guys, H-Man says, time to go. Love you guys. Sending the love right back to you, H-Man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you, sir, and I hope to see you again in the chat because you are missed. So thank you. We have a Raw and SmackDown review show on Saturday. We're going to have a review right after NXT. I almost said Dynamite. Oh, my God. I fused the shows. What is it they call? Deadline. So please continue to subscribe to Unpopular Review. Let's talk about this last one. We have Dragunov and Baron Corbin. I'm sorry. I mixed that up.
Did anybody see earlier in the night where Dragunov made it to the NXT arena and Baron Corbin was walking in the background?
I must have missed that. No, I totally missed that. Yeah. No, I didn't see that. That's a full power in there.
Mm-hmm.
But they're hyping up. I mean, just to sum it all up, guys, is that they're hyping up their NXT Championship match. I honestly feel like Baron ate up Dragunov. I don't think Dragunov did a horrible job. I think he did pretty well on the mic. But Baron was saying things like, you're looking at this as a championship match, but this is like, not redemption is the word, but this is all the hard work that I've done and it pays off. He talked about being on the main roster. Did you realize it's been 8 years that he was on the main roster?
Yes, he joined, I think, in 2015.
That sounds about right.
16, 15, 16, no, 16. So 15, 16.
You remember how he debuted, right?
Of course. Andre the Giant.
I can't fool you. When you have a lot to say, how can I stop you, right? But right, he debuted all of them years ago, and he went through so many gimmicks. The Lone Wolf. I always forget the one when he wore the suit. I know he was a king. Thank you. He did all these changes and stuff like that on the main roster. I don't see him beating Dragunov, but I would love for this man to be rewarded. I've always liked Baron Corbin. Matter of fact, and I might have said this on this show before, in 2016 when they did the brand split, I remember I said at that time, in 2 years he could be a WWE champion. I was obviously wrong.
A lot of people thought that. A lot of people were saying that he was doing a great job in 2016. He had a fantastic, I want to say, ladder match or something with somebody. I can't remember exactly when. But he was on a real good trajectory to win. The problem is I think he rubbed John Cena the wrong way. And that would kill his momentum because then John Cena had him lose the Money in the Bank, and then they had the opening match at SummerSlam where he lost decisively. And it took him a while to get back up to that point until he became the Constable. They were giving because he was liked backstage. They liked his ring work. They liked his mic work and his character work, which that's all you really need to do in WWE. But that's when people started hating on Monday Night Raw, and they had to use him to get the L.
Right.
He talks about that. He said that they booed him when they were talking about when all the McMahons came out how bad everything was, and they used him as a scapegoat, and they were booing him out the building, and he and Triple H shook hands or something like that, and he said they act like I really screwed up Raw, and Triple H said, but you can't buy that type of heat. But it really messed him up. So
wow.
And then, like I said, also said that the pandemic didn't help him because he was very good at getting the crowd's reaction,
right?
Just like Elias. And when he couldn't do that, it was hard for him to stay over. So during the pandemic, he did not do well at all.
You know, and you was mentioning how well liked he is, right? And you look at the stuff, and I've always you have a fantastic way when you talk about look at the person. One, he was getting TV time, and two, look at the stuff that he was getting as well. He was the United States champion, King of the Ring. I know King. Now, personally, for me, King of the Ring don't feel like what it used to be, but still, I think that's still a big, Some
people are able to do better with it than other people. Baron Corbin, I felt like because he was the one I picked to win that year, I felt like they gave him a bad rap with that. because I felt like he should have been able to do more with that than he was doing. But when he won it, he just started taking L after L after L, which a lot of King of the Rings have done that. When they win it, you think they're going to be on a, and then they take L after
If I can ask you real quick, and just in the talks of King of the Ring, maybe that could be some top 5 in the future. When was the last time the King of the Ring felt special?
Special, I would say when Xavier Woods won it. However, once again, nothing happened after. I really was happy for him. I thought that was going to be the push he needed. He had his own theme music and everything. He had the crown. Then Roman killed it, and he never did a come up about it. Like, no,
he didn't. He tried, but he didn't.
Yeah, never did anything else about it. So, I to answer your question shortly, I would say that one because I thought between him and Queen Selena, I thought it really felt special. But dead in the border. The last person who really did something with that King of the Ring, unfortunately, probably was King Booker.
I almost forgot about King Booker because I was going to go back to 2002 when Brock Lesnar won it, and then he went to SummerSlam. Now he didn't wear the crown and all that stuff, but 2006 is such a great because that rejuvenized Booker T's career. So when you said that, I was like, why did I forget that? I was close.
Not at all.
But this is finish this segment. Dragunov and Baron, they have a thing. Baron's poking the bear with Dragunov. Dragunov's trying to hold back the dragon. He's trying to hold back. I was getting ready to sing Cisco's I don't want to unleash the dragon, but I didn't know the lyrics, so I didn't do it because I didn't want to embarrass myself. And he's trying to hold back, and Baron's like, I see you. You want to spit the fire? You want to do something? You want to do And then Dragon just hugs him. And I was like, huh? But then that's when I realized he's playing mental with him and says like, nah, I'm not going to give you that tonight because I'm going to give you an opportunity on Saturday to have a match with me. I'm going to save this ass whooping for you on Saturday. I'm not going to do it right here because you won't be making it on Saturday. So boom, he holds back. He laughs. Baron is looking at him. And then the brawl that happened previously with these men from the Iron Survivor match. Goes out there, and that's how the show ends, and that is NXT, guys. So, the executive consultant, any last words before we do some plugs?
Hey, I thought NXT tonight was a fantastic show. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. You know who was not in the comments that much, even though he was all in the beginning?
George.
Yeah, that was George Samuel Lewis.
I know what happened. He went to another show.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so just looking at that, fantastic time.
It was a great show. It was great reviewing it with you guys. We want to say thank you guys for watching it on the live. If you're watching on the playback, we still say thank you. We're Unpopular Review. We're a growing brand. I said earlier, we have a lot of wrestling shows. We talk about Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW. We're hoping to get some more content going. Top 5s, predictions, reviews. We're here. Entertainment. There's a link shooting you right there if you want to see some entertainment stuff going on. It's a great brand. So I should say, give us and I'm not even saying Mike Knox. I'm sorry. Mike Knox, he has a show 6 p.m. for the Intelligent Wrestling fan. You guys seem like a pretty intelligent people. You guys should be in the chat and here to talk about everything from Raw, SmackDown, AEW, wrestling news, Death to Dirt Sheets. I think they have they talk about this week in wrestling history. So it's a great time. You should be there. My co-host, who's usually here, the Wrestling Dog, there's a link to her YouTube page. So check out the Unofficial Camera Woman YouTube. She's out there, I believe, in Central Florida. She gets all kinds of content.
Central Florida.
Okay. All kinds of content out there. So please give her YouTube a follow. I have an audio podcast talking about everything about wrestling. So give that a follow. It's on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and hopefully on some other things. It's audio. It's a good time. So please give it a shot. What movie? Charmaine asked what movie you guys are doing Thursday.
Pleasantville.
Is Tobey Maguire, is that the one with Tobey Maguire in it? Yeah, because I know y'all played a commercial. I'm not even familiar with that movie, but I saw that. I said, oh, that's Spider-Man. And I think that's all the stuff that we have here. And anything that I missed, executive consultant.
Can't say that unofficial camerawoman wants to mention that she's at 970 subs and growing.
Please give that channel a follow. It is growing. Let her reach 1,000. Is that how they say 1,000? Or so I should say 1,000. I don't know. But just keep that going. Support the co-host. She's great. I'm great. The executive consultant, sometimes when he's not eating a bologna sandwich, he can be that. Let's go home, executive consultant.
What was that you just said?
I said, when you're not eating a bologna sandwich, you're pretty good too.
What makes you think I eat a bologna sandwich?
Because you're full of shit.
That's the best you had?
I'm satisfied with my comment. And I feel like someone else, let's see, someone in the chat laughed. I want some LOLs in that one. I feel like UPR also have a TikTok. Okay, Charmaine. Charmaine.
Thank you, Charmaine, for doing a better job than the Greek Grand Slam Poopa.
Thank you for doing a better job than the guy who hosts the TikTok. But with that said, oh, right. This is where we do the intro. Where's our exit thing? Bye, guys. We'll see you guys next week for NXT.